Joining us now is retired FBI agent and security specialist, Jana Monroe. Jana, so we talk about this FBI, or this, they've got this CODIS database, which is this extensive database that compiles DNA from local municipalities and federal investigations for, years in perpetuity. We're learning about this one glove that has a DNA profile, I guess, that is of interest compared to the other gloves. Do you have more information on that, or can you kind of put that in layman's terms of how they've narrowed down to this is the glove they want to search for?
Well, yeah, I could put it in layman's term, and I don't want to speculate on something like that. But as was mentioned previously, there were a lot of other gloves that could have been in the area, and so they've narrowed this one down. And by putting it in the that database, that they're going to come up with something probably within 24 hours or so to show if it is something that's significant to this.
Yeah, I want to ask you as well, just going off of Joey's question there, because we've been seeing this in the news from various outlets all day about this glove and the DNA profile being potentially a big break in the case. But it's been reported in such terms that's very confusing for our audience to understand, and it's being really billed as this big break here. But as far as your expertise on this, if this glove has a DNA profile, which I would assume any glove that any human would wear would have some kind of a DNA profile, if the suspect, if it is in fact the suspect's glove, that would mean that the suspect would have to already be in that database, meaning that that person would have already had to commit a crime or have some reason to be in the database. Can you break this down a little bit for our audience so they can try to sift through all of this information?
Right, yes, that the FBI has that database, and there had to have been some kind of contact, be it an arrest, a possible person of interest, some reason that the DNA would be in that database. So it's not something where there's going to be DNA that it could link it to any person. There's going to have to be that kind of integration into it.
Great to have you with us, Janet. It's Kevin Cork here. Let me ask you about the coordination and cooperation. We have spent a great deal of time unpacking what Pima County can do, what the feds can do. As you continue to move forward, we're now talking weeks into this investigation. How do the principals, both on the ground and in coordination with the labs, keep working forward to advance their agenda? Because you're still pulling in tens of thousands of tips each and every week.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest things when you're looking at a major case like this, is that law enforcement coordination. In complex cases, they take time, they take careful analysis, and they take strict adherence to the legal standards that are basically governing the evidence, due process, and the constitutional protections. So what we're seeing here, and I know it's not something that the public likes to hear, is that it does take time to have this kind of a thorough investigation. But the collaboration, at least that I'm seeing with the Pima County Sheriff, with the FBI, and with the labs, they're all working together as a team, and these things do take some time. But I think the other thing for people to remember is not everything that law enforcement is doing is visible, and that's for a reason. Some of the things they're not making public, and I think you can rest assured that they're doing everything that they can. It just might not be known at this time.
Jana, I want to ask you about the high-tech signal detector that authorities are now using to try and pick up a signal from Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker. How precise is that technology? Obviously, we use Bluetooth signal for so much in regards to our phones. Are there other signals that could potentially interfere with that signal detector that they're trying to use?
Yeah, there could be other signals that are interfering with it, but it is a very precise and accurate signal. So I think the investigation tool that you're using that as tool is excellent, because it is very accurate.
Jana, while we have you here, we haven't had the pleasure of having you on our show. We've interviewed a ton of people about this. We haven't really gotten into speculation on motive in a while because it's hard to do so. The whole thing seems odd at best. Is there anything that you see isn't getting discussed that could be of interest or an important factor here that you feel like hasn't gotten attention?
Well, what I would say is obviously motive is the number one thing. It's the number one priority that you're looking at in any investigation. And this one, when you're looking at a kidnapping for ransom, they are so unusual. You could go back to the Charles Lindbergh, Frank Sinatra Jr. There have been others, very, very few. And in this one, they have a ransom, but they haven't collected any money, at least that anybody is aware of at this particular point. So then you start looking at motive for publicity? Is it something where they want it public? They've sent the notes to all of the media outlets, which would indicate that it is for publicity. And you could make that analogous to the Ted Kaczynski case, although it was not a kidnapping. But he sent things to the media outlets because he wanted that widespread of his manifesto. So I think you're looking at something very similar here, that although they were requesting money, they haven't collected any, and they also did so at 2 different time frames. So like February 5th for $4 million, February 6th for $9 million, and even that giving a deliberation is extremely unusual. So I think the motive should be explored more for just the money aspect of it, maybe some ideology, and again, potentially for the publicity.
Jana, going off of what you just described to us there, I don't believe we have any solid verification that those ransom notes sent to TMZ and to local news stations, have those been verified? Because to my knowledge, they haven't been. And it feels like last weekend when we covered the story, we were very focused on the ransom. Of course, the family putting out that video saying, we understand, we will pay. And as the week went on, obviously much more of an emphasis on the glove and the surveillance video. How confident are you in your expertise that these ransom notes being sent to the media very publicly are legitimate?
I think obviously the notes have been sent there, but as far as being legitimate in what they're looking for, I'm very speculative of that. And the reason being is because I do think as the behavior unfolds, we're going to see more and more that this is for the publicity, and they're going to come out with some different statements. So yeah, I'm very speculative of the genuineness, let's put it that way, of the notes.
Jana Monroe, thank you so much for joining us tonight, bringing your expertise. We really appreciate you being on here with us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.